time we go, gotta learn to let it go.
Welcome to Wake the F Up podcast, where we talk about living consciously and helping people uncover their essential selves so that they can stop sleepwalking through life.
Welcome back. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, Wake family. Welcome back. It's Katie Coffee here. I am the creative director here at Wake Wellness of the Picasso, the CEO, Alix Long, who has so graciously given me the opportunity to bring her visions to life. For me, that's through video and photography and social media. And I'm so excited to share with you today the recap of the Rebirth Retreat that we just went on in Puerto Vallarta. 8 women went on an adventure of a lifetime, and we had a blast. That's an understatement. Too much fun? Is there such a thing? Probably not. We are holistic expert grief mentors. What does that mean? This means that we help people navigate tough problems, traumas in their life that they can't quite seem to move forward from. So one of the opportunities in which we get to actually do this in person is a wellness retreat. Get the jitters out. Actually, should we breathe? Should we deep breathe together? A little trick I learned from Callie. Breathe in the love. Exhale the bullshit. If you are tuning in the car, this is going to be great. But if you can sit down and watch this episode, I highly encourage it because the film is absolutely beautiful.
We love you, Alix Long!
I'm just feeling such a sense of gratitude right now, and I personally would love to just thank Alix Long and Dr. David for giving me the opportunity and every one of us the opportunity to grow this week. We all went down to Puerto Vallarta. I can't tell everyone's story. All I can do is tell you how I viewed the experience. I started to have thoughts just kind of untangle themselves. And as a person with ADHD, if you know, you know, it's like I'm thinking about a million things all at once. But this time, they were actually in order. Things were in order. And the first thought that I had was this. Forgiveness is such a lovely idea until you have someone that you actually have to forgive. But I have the capacity to forgive, and it's time to do that. The water just brought a sense of homecoming to me. It was as though the distance between who I was and who I've become dissolved in that very moment. And I found myself whole again. I'm home. Home is here, and I could be here anytime I want. The waves are great. They definitely help, though. But it was just a simple understanding.
It was so cute. I love. Oh my gosh. So beautiful. What'd you think?
Can't believe it.
Should we just live here?
Yeah, I think we have to move here. Sorry, Albert, this is my new home.
You've been replaced by paradise.
Arriving at Mixto, I felt like I was stepping into a dream. On an island that you have to get to by boat. That is the only way to get there, we promise you. And because of that, it is remote and private, and I love to travel, but this place is perfect. In fact, I actually have doubts about even putting this video on the internet because I'm like, what if too many people find out? The villa itself is perched on the edge of paradise with views that stretch beyond the horizon.
They're singing with us.
Every morning we started with yoga led by Callie, deep breath work, and everyone can go at their own pace. It's not like you have to keep up. You're challenged to push yourself a little bit further, lean in.
Over to the other side. This time, left hand crawling on top of right. Inhale, create space. Exhale, sink down, left hip drawing back and down.
Just breathe deeper, she'd say. And we did. And it hit me. Life is like yoga. It's meant to be moved through. Yoga was just the beginning. By reconnecting with our bodies, we created space to absorb the wisdom of Dionne's confidence masterclasses, Callie's spiritual breath workshops, and even my own DJ session workshops. And we had fun dancing. Dionne led that, and it was a hoot and a half. I cannot believe I even got the opportunity to do it. It was so fun. Thank you for everyone for participating in that. Movement unlocks doors that conversations can't. Movement unlocked doors we didn't even know were closed. What poured out was nothing short of magic. Relaxing our bodies and getting into our bodies and grounding our bodies. Of course, the real magic happened on the connections.
I have panic attacks randomly in water, which so I'm not confident. I do love it. I'm already home in my body, in my soul. I know where I'm going. I release control. Surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I'm already whole in my body, in my soul. I know where I'm
I'm coming in.
I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I'm already home in my body, in my soul. I know where I'm going.
This is like
5, 6, 7.
Okay.
Of course, the real magic happened on the connections. And these were my personal connections. Olivia. Olivia taught me the art of vulnerability and the beauty of raising sons with intention. I won't forget our time together and how naturally great you are at salsa. I'm even a little bit jealous, but it's okay. I forgive you. You got the little kick. It comes natural, right? For some. Cynthia, soul sister, dancing under the stars, reminding me to embrace myself. Eczema goddess. You've always made me brave. Let's take every publication that never saw us coming just because we're women and just because we can. Your strength is glorious, and I know that you're strong, but there's a beauty inside of you that wrinkles and time and eczema and absolutely nothing can steal from you, honey. It is a beauty that is beyond exterior. And I just want you to know your destiny, nothing can take what is yours. Callie. Callie and I got to spend together a night before everyone else got there to just kind of unpack. And I'm really so grateful for that time that we got together because I was able to talk about some things that were like super, super, like probably not even PC. I mean, what is PC? We talked about so non-PC, like nothing's PC, right? But Callie, whose music and grace inspire me to dive deeper into my own creative passions. Callie, I see your musical ability as the deepest well in which you draw strength as a wellness practitioner, because putting out music is the definition of letting go. If you know, you know. And I've done your breathwork classes and your yoga classes. You kicked my ass and all of that was great. You already know all that though, and I loved every moment of it. Sandra, Sandra, Sandra. The lioness lamb, bold yet tender, wisdom left me in awe. Years of wisdom and boldness and equal vulnerability was so surprising to me. I felt honored to be in Sandra's presence. I hope we continue the adventures. Vienna waits for you. Sorry, had to slip that in. That's my favorite Billy Joel song. Dionne, whose quiet creativity and calm energy felt like a safe harbor in the storm. My time with Dionne was really precious because we got to share intimate stories with each other, but I was surprised at how calm she is and also how much of a creative, like wild child she is too. She has a quietly colorful personality, sneaky wild one. $20 would say that she's an INFJ. It's the quiet ones you have to look out for. Deb, you remind me of childlike wonder, and you turn every moment into pure joy. You lit up every room you walk into with a sense of wonder. 3 minutes of, this is what I wrote. 3 minutes with Deb is like walking into the closet of the Chronicles of Narnia. Pure. Your energy is staring at morning snowfall in Jackson, Wyoming, and how stark the comparison to the bluest of skies. Brooke, this sounds much more simple, but this just is what it is. Brooke, you captured the beauty around us and around me and had the same exact appreciation for life in the very moment, in every single second that we had together. And we just giggled like little children the entire time. And I just appreciate you so much coming and sharing your vulnerability with me and coming to the last minute. You remind me what it's like to be truly free. So, these women weren't just my companions. These women were my mirrors, reflecting parts of me that I'd forgotten in myself. Together, we laughed until we cried like little piglets on the floor. Because if you're not crying and like snorting when you're laughing, what's the point? You need to be like in a ball on the floor laughing. We did that. But we laughed and we cried and we shared stories until the weight of them lifted and danced until our spirits soared. What I'm trying to say to you all is that you are the main character, okay? That's what I'm just trying to tell you guys. You are the main character. Despite your tragedy, I may be even proposing that the pain is the pathway to your purpose. The pain is the pathway to your purpose. I may be proposing that wild, preposterous idea. You can argue with me about it if you would like. Personally, I love rock bottom. Been there a few times. Which time do you want to hear about? No, it is at rock bottom where I hear very, very clearly, for me, the sound of God, the voice. It is when I'm finally quiet and still. It's a whisper. It's not pushy. It's not shovey. It's not coercive. It's gentle. It's kind. It's loving. And for some reason, it's taken me 31 years to realize I don't have to hit rock bottom to hear that voice. It's just a moment away. It's right now. Here. With you. One of the most profound lessons about this week wasn't about coming home. Coming home isn't a place. It's about returning to parts of yourself that you've always had, that feel like truth, that are the truth. Sometimes things don't always feel good. The best friends that we have tell us things sometimes that we don't want to hear. But there's a difference between love and kindness. Kindness doesn't want your ego to get bruised. Love tells you the truth, no matter what. Returning to the parts of myself, returning to the inner child, for me that meant reconnecting with my inner child who has been patiently waiting for me to remember them, to remember myself, to remember her. As we navigated grief together, I realized that pain is not something to be feared, it's something to be transformed. Grief is inevitable, but how we carry it determines whether we move forward or stay stuck. The opposite of grief isn't happiness, it's gratitude. And as I reflect on the retreat, gratitude fills every corner of my heart. When we find ourselves in places of deep sorrow throughout life, when we find ourselves in deep places of sorrow throughout our life, we find ourselves asking the right questions, but in the wrong direction. And here's what I mean by that. This answer is two parts, which you may or may not agree with. Trying to exclude the possibility of suffering, which the order of nature and the existence of free will involve, you will find that you have excluded life itself. Pain, grief is unavoidable, but without pain and grief, we are unable to experience the opposite, which is joy, which is love, which is laughter, which is the beauty of it all. My proposal for an appropriate direction to find the most honest answer on dealing with grief, it's the mirror. But sometimes it's so hard to be honest with ourselves about the things that we're struggling with that. And why is that? I don't know. Michael Jackson said he was starting with the man in the mirror. Do you believe him? He died of an overdose. Love him, love the moves, but let's be real here. Like, let's be real. How deep do we really want to get? How far do we really want to go? And it's hard to do that with yourself. And that's what this whole thing is about. Self-love. What is self-love? We talked about that. Self-love is real. I used to think that saying loving your neighbor as you love yourself was about your neighbor. Now I realize that means, how could you even love your neighbor if you don't even love yourself? But sometimes it's harder to be honest with ourselves than we could ever imagine. Self-love is real. I used to think that saying love your neighbor as yourself was about your neighbor. Now I realize that means, how could you even love your neighbor if you don't even love you? Could the mirror ever really be our friend? Truth hurts, doesn't it? Just ask Lizzo. But until we make the mirror our friend, we'll continue to project our issues and develop the story of our lives according to the flaws we continue to choose not to accept. This is part of breaking generational trauma, some of which we don't even realize we're carrying. And Dionne got quite a bit into this in the classes, and we'll be sharing more of that soon. Proposition number 2 for dealing with our grief. When you're experiencing an ache or pain, you visit the doctor. It would be rather pointless to call a plumber if you were feeling sick, wouldn't it? If you were at the brink of financial destitution, is that a word? Yes, if you were financially destitute, would you call your cousin who drives a Ferrari but lives in a camper van? Do you see what I'm saying here? When a 4-time divorce therapist is running a successful business in marital therapy, a person may be in the wrong office. My point being is, dealing with grief means walking with someone who has gone before us in the same thing. And therein lies the power of our pain. If not to share the hardest parts of our path with one another, so that we may not walk alone or walk in ignorance, but walk hand in hand in wisdom. And this is something beautiful that Alix has given to me, is the ability to share the pain, not attention-seeking pain. I know it's quite confusing in a generation and an age where people, I feel like it's almost a competition to see who is more offended or more hurt or more just an attention for whatever. But there is a difference between knowing that if you share your pain in such a way that you may be able to help one person survive or get through another day with intention, that is purposeful. And that is the point. And that is why pain can be our purpose. The power of our pain, the power of our grief. But let's be real. The world does not pause for enlightenment. As soon as my plane landed back in Nashville, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. My ADHD kicked into high gear. I was like enlightened, spiritual. I'm like, namaste, namaste, namaste. And then beep, 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 beep. I'm like, can we cut it out? Still, something in me has shifted that I will carry with me and continue to carry with me forever. The lessons from this retreat stayed with me like an anchor in the chaos. Wake wellness isn't about pretending that life is perfect. In fact, that's the complete opposite of what we're trying to do here. It's about finding the beauty in the imperfection. It's about rewriting the stories we tell ourselves. Not to erase the pain, but to make room for the joy. And it's about remembering that even in our darkest moments, we are never truly alone. And you don't have to walk alone. We're here for you. I'm here for you. I love you. I truly do. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you gleaned something from this. We have so much more material coming, diving further into generational trauma, how to mirror people in relationships, how to work on self-esteem, how to work on confidence, and even just how to get loose. I can help you with that. Doesn't just go away, and it doesn't have to go away. But if we were to imagine our grief like a bunch of tiny little marbles in a space, what can happen is if we allow ourselves to grow, that room, that box, gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the marbles of grief, though they have not changed, they're the same size, we ourselves have expanded. And we have so much more space to hold light and love, and more pain. You have more capacity than you know to handle the things that the future is going to throw at you. You are worth more than you know. You're loved. You are not alone. You are brilliant. You are gorgeous. You are capable. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Be blessed. Oh,
If you enjoyed this episode of Wake the F Up, please like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Join the Wake community by downloading our app. Just search for The Wake Wellness in the Apple or Android App Store. And follow us on Instagram at The Wake Wellness. Thanks for listening.